Have you ever considered healing your problems with spirit, energy, or even a modern day medicine man? Well, my guest today is Carey Stokes. Carey, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
So, a medicine man. Well, we've also heard the word shaman. What does that even mean?
Yeah, well, the word shaman comes from the Evenke tribe over in Siberia, Russia, in that area. And they were typically the medicine men or women of their village, the ones who would kind of dance between this world of form and matter to that of energy and spirit. So what does that mean? In this world we live in now, it's like linear. We know it as linear time, cause and effect. And the medicine people knew that time actually looped back onto itself, or like a figure eight. And this has been proven now in quantum physics. So they would journey backwards and forwards, and they were responsible for many things other than bringing medicine or healing to the village. They were also the great trackers. They had to track a deer in the forest or find out where the game was going to be. They also brought in the birth of children. They also helped those that were leaving this world cross over to the other. So they're storytellers. They played many roles.
So in the modern world that we live in today, how does this play a part?
Well, I think it's really important. I feel that we're coming back to these old ways that have been around forever. Shamanism or these medicine people have been around for 40, 50,000 years, before we had, supermarkets to go to and hospitals. These were the people they go to the village, responsible in the village to work with and to help them along their journey. So today I think it's very prominent that we get back to these old ways, and part of that is getting back to the earth, getting back to ceremony, and getting back to the natural way of living in harmony and balance, because we're really off balance, and that's pretty prevalent. We can see in our financial systems, in our health care, and in the earth itself.
You mentioned an interesting point. We're talking about you couldn't go to the supermarket thousands of years ago. You weren't able to go to a hospital. You
Right.
relied on the medicine man in the community. Well, how is that relevant today?
How is that relevant? Well, today I speak about the modern day shaman, the modern day medicine person. Maybe I don't like to put labels on myself because I think it's limiting because I'm that and none of that and then all of that. But I think it helps today in the modern day to have this connectedness back to the earth. And this is really important for our own inner healing. And I do believe that as we heal ourselves, we heal the world. And some of this might sound kind of cliche or corny, but it's really true. And I found, like on my own personal healing journey, that's how I got into working with this medicine, is my own personal healing journey. Then I saw the bigger picture. By shifting my own self, by shifting my inner world, my outer world shifts, and I saw how it's going to benefit my son, and then his children and all the children's children behind him. So all the generations to follow. So again, it's really about being in balance, being in harmony, and being in what the Inca call, the Quieros, they call in Aini, which is in right relationship. Everything in your life needs to be in right relationship. If something's out of skew, that's where the shaman wants to look at. They're always looking at the aura, the energy body. They're working from here, and then shifting something in the aura and the energy body then shifts us at the level of our soul, then our mind and body follow. That's kind of the premise.
So as you're looking at me right now, can you see my aura?
I can see your aura. It's very nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I have a nice aura.
Yeah.
So when we're working with an individual, as a shaman, you're working with an individual, how do you do that? What's the process?
Typically when a client comes to me, I do what's called an intake. So I want to find out sometimes what they think is going on. I'm always looking for the energy thread. Mm-hmm. So it's important to understand that our luminous field, this aura, holds trauma, holds imprints, almost like etching on a glass. So we want to go in and clean that glass up, clear that etching out, clear that imprint. Otherwise, it might manifest into the physical.
So this luminous field is like a bubble around us?
Right, yeah, your luminous field typically starts about 6 inches or so into the earth, goes all the way up your body as high as your arms can stretch up and stretch out. And it's like a torus. It's 360, it goes all the way around you. And that's why a lot of times when we meet people, our luminous body is already picking up information. We hold a lot of information in there.
That's when you kind of sense something about someone.
Exactly, and that's what you say right away, I like this. Or you walk in a room and you go, oh, this doesn't feel right. Or especially when you meet somebody, as you're shaking their hand, you're gathering without even realizing on the subconscious, you're gathering energetically a lot of information. So when a client comes to see me, a lot of times what might be their issue is not really what's going on. Because I'm looking for the energy thread. What's tying that? What's what's causing that bind, what's causing that dis-ease in their life, that whether it's, whatever it is, whatever they perceive it to be, sometimes isn't what the truth of what it really is. So that's kind of the role of the shamanist, to find that. But it's ultimately they're doing their own healing. They're stepping into their own power.
So I understand that you have a pretty fascinating background. You're Native American and also do work in South America. Share with me a little bit about that.
Well, typically I work a lot with the indigenous cultures in North and South America, with the Carey Nation over in Peru, and we take journeys over there and work at retreats for people to have a personal experience. You got to remember, shamanism, or the medicine way, is about the path of fire, the path of lightning, because that's the quickest transformation, and it's about your own direct revelation. So I can speak about shamanism a lot, or you could just come to a class or you come to a journey and have your own direct experience, and that's your aha moment. That's where it works.
So that's saying that when lightning strikes, you actually mean that literally?
Yes, when lightning strikes. Matter of fact, they speak over, I know in South America, that if you're struck by lightning, that's spirit calling you on the path to walk as a path of shaman or a medicine person.
But we all don't need that.
Yeah. I know one girl's been struck 2 or 3 times over there in Peru. Really sweet girl, but she's been struck a couple times. Her father actually is a shaman, and their whole role, her dad actually, his whole role is to take care of one mountain. He goes out every day and prays and does ceremony, and they take care of this one mountain. And they speak about that. Everything, you got to remember, that place of the medicine person, everything is alive. Everything has energy. They live in that place of their perception. They perceive everything as a spirit, everything with energy, the trees, the plants, the birds, everything, us as humans. And we were truly really the last ones who were supposed to be stewards to take care of the earth. And it's kind of flopped over where we think the earth is something we own, and we're, instead of being a steward of. And
so somehow, like this generation and maybe the last couple generations, you're saying we've forgotten what we're supposed to be doing here in this lifetime?
I don't think everybody, but I think you have to wake up. I think a lot of people have to wake up, and I think this helps you. I think it's an integrated medicine, energy medicine. I wouldn't say it's the only way. There's a lot of great modalities out there, obviously with all the guests you have on your program. Mm-hmm. A lot of interesting, beautiful things out there, but it's up to us to wake up and find out what resonates for us. When I'm teaching out there, I tell people, look, I'm just sharing my journey, and whatever that is for you, hopefully there's some seed, there's something there you can take away and something you can nurture and then go out and flourish. Because it's about, I'm really a firm believer about holding that container so people can find their own way and to guide them to live a better, healthier, happier life, really.
So if someone is watching and they want to know if working with a shaman or a medicine man is right for them, what's the sign? How do you know that this is the right modality for you?
Well, I'm a big believer if people feel the calling, if it's some what we call coincidence or divine guidance, but also to stop and pray about it. People call me sometimes and they're not really sure, and I said, I don't try and convince them. I said, well, go and pray about it, speak to whoever you speak, in your meditations, whatever it is, and then if you have any questions, I'm here for you. But I've dedicated my life to be of service, and because I know I have only so much time left on this earth, and I want to leave a legacy for my son and my, grandkids that aren't coming hopefully right now, I hope. But for the
None of them yet.
Yeah, for the children's children, I really think it's really important. And it's, again, about living, back in, we have to change. I mean, they speak about, this was the prophecy they talked about in 2012. You heard from the Hopi and the Inca and the Mayans, all about this time of what the Inca called the Pachacuti, or the turning over of the earth. And that's that time of great change, and that's what's happening. We've already been through 2012 now, but we already saw it before that. We saw the financial system starting to crumble, these old ways of greed, and it's not serving. And a lot of people are stepping out there now, and that's why I think it's so beautiful, your program that you're doing, because you're giving out information and you're giving avenues for people to go, wow, I didn't know that was out there. Let me see, maybe this might be for me. Learn more about it, exactly.
Carey Stokes, shaman and creator of Medicine Wind Warrior, thank you so much for being here with us on the show today.
Thank you so much. It was an honor.